Right, episode 9 of Lonely Globe with the one and only Synsy.
What's good?
How's it going, bro, man?
Yeah, good, man. Good. How you been?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. We was gonna do this before, weren't we? But you was away. Was you in Sweden?
Finland.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I've been fucking so busy. Like, I was meant to stay out there for like 6 days, and then I got fucking sick.
Was
And
it
I
just a
ended up-
getaway?
It was going to work with some Finnish artists that I know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was just going over to catch up with them because I went there last year and did like a boat party.
Yeah.
And it was fucking wicked, man. And we all got on really well. So we were like, oh, we'll stay in touch. And then, yeah, just went over to catch up with them.
Oh, that's buzzing. So you just met him abroad, basically, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like
Go on,
Sorry,
carry
after you, man.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, no, I've noticed that with a lot of everything I do now. It's like every time I've made, I said this to someone the other day. I've made probably more. I'm gonna class them as friends. I've made more friends now, like just doing the podcast or just doing anything with music.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably keep in touch with my own friends. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I like getting to know new people.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, bro. I think it's good to sort of like broaden your horizons with people and get to know people, like, because you never know, like you can meet people that you connect with better than like
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
you
going
know.
to say about it, because there's a lot more people. Like, my friends are into completely different music to I am, and they're in
Yeah.
a different vibe or dress sense compared to myself. But
hmm
like, I think even now, like, if say I don't know, I go to a show to go and support someone, and a lot of my friends now have been asking, "Oh, can we come?" And it's like, oh, it's not your vibe, but you can come if you want. I just want
Yeah.
to come to witness it and experience it. That's not
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
Just bear in mind, if you don't like it, like, you've chose to come, like,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
can't really give you fucking any advice there. But
No, that's it, man. I mean, it's kind of the same with like my like close friends that I like grew up with.
yeah,
Are like nowhere near into.
yeah, my fucking dog is going absolutely fucking mental, mate. You should see him. He's fucking weird, mate. He's weird,
What dog is he?
mate. I can't even tell you that. Don't know. Every time someone asks this, we don't know what he is. Like, I can't. If someone goes, "Oh, what dog have you got?" Like, I've got a Labrador as well as this other one. And they go, "Oh, what dog have you got?" I've got a Labrador. I've got this. And what's the other one? I don't know.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
He looks like the best way to explain what he looks like is an Ewok from Star Wars. Like, no cap. I'll show you after the stream. It's
All right,
fucking
easy.
mental. It's crazy. Even all like
That's fucking
people, like
dope.
my friends, come around and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it's something.
That's
Yeah.
funny, man. No, fucking hell.
Yeah, connecting is fucking. Go back on it. Connecting is fucking key, man. Like, connecting at the minute is like just the experience of just getting to know loads of different artists. Like, we've known each other not long within the last year, because like through Kilmore and that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And that's how I got to kind of speak to you, is through Kilmore. So shout out to Kilmore anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to kill more, man.
It's that was just through which one was it? It was the one Bad Lad recorded on the he was on the airplane. It was on the jet, because Bad Lad recorded that one, didn't he? I'm pretty sure.
No, he did Drill Metal 4. He did
Sorry,
the one
Drum
before
Metal 4,
that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Yeah, that's right.
I thought he did the one. I completely messed up on that one, but
That's all good.
yeah, and then obviously the one you released recently with Remy. Fuck me, man, that was so sick.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that song, man. Yeah,
Junkie, isn't it?
Cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
class, man.
Remy's so
Fucking
cold,
Junkie. Oh, it's
bro. Yeah.
such a. I just know how that's gonna sound live. Like, when you hear something, you just know that's gonna sound fucking sick.
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah, Remy's cold, bro.
Yeah.
Remy's super talented. Like, he's someone I met through my producer John, and like, I don't know. Like, the first time we kind of like spoke, I wasn't really sure how things were gonna play out because I've known him for quite a while, but we never really like thought about doing a track together or anything. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, oh, I have this track I think you'd sound really sick on, and I was like, that, like, send it.
Yeah, it worked really fucking well. That did.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, he's super talented. He's he's going places, man.
He's another one. To be honest, I think the next podcast I do with Remy, I'd like to get you on that one with him, because That would
Yeah,
be
for
good.
sure, man.
And then I've got to sort Kilmore out because Kilmore, he's doing these little comeback. He's been messaging me, so I've been like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
buzzing for
man.
that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, man. It's been kind of weird because obviously he's one of like my closest friends within music,
He's just
and
needed to do what he needed to do. He just needed to find himself. That's
yeah,
everyone has to do it.
no, that's it, man. He's like, he's had his break. He's kind of like reassessed and reevaluated like where he wants to go and like the direction he wants to go in, and I think it's been a really positive thing for him. Like overall, it's probably
Have
been
you? Did you
necessary.
hear have you heard his unreleased track yet?
Uh, maybe.
I have heard the one. It is good. To be fair, I'm pretty
I
sure you've heard it.
I feel like
Try,
he might have sent it to me while I was in
yeah,
Finland, and I've been like, oh, I'll check it, and then I just
yeah. You kind of
yeah,
like lose track. Yeah, because I
yeah,
got 5 minutes. He sent it to me. I had 5 minutes to listen to it because he asked for some artwork, so I helped him out with that. And he goes, "Oh, listen to it," and I was like, messaging him back. I was like, "Yeah, this is a bit of you, bro. Like this,
yeah.
like the whole drill metal was. I thought it was solid. It's hard. It's
Mm,
a hard mix to get into because you've got to try and satisfy a lot of people that listen to drill, but you've got to try and satisfy people that listen to metal.
hmm.
I think it was a case of trap metal, in general. You don't get a lot of trap listeners listening to trap metal, but you
No,
do get a lot of people that mix in between the whole hip hop thing and the whole metal side of things. It can't that flows more, but drill is a completely different like offset because a lot of people. I don't personally listen to drill,
mm,
but I fucked with his music. Like I enjoyed it, but this
yeah.
new one he's going to be releasing that he got me to listen to. Like I'm buzzing for that to come out. Like because I
You
know
think
it's
he's
going to
kind
get
of
us.
like found his sound a bit?
Yeah, I personally think I don't know. I think it'll say it all when he releases like a good few or an album. Um, but personally, right now, like listening to it and just speaking to him about it, it was like, yeah, I think you've took the time to really like evaluate what direction you're kind of going to feel comfortable and go down.
Yeah, yeah,
Because, but then again, there's loads of people that experiment with music. There's so many people like trap metal artists. Like I spoke to someone about this yesterday. Like so many people have gone from trap metal to funk now. Like
yeah,
like there's so many people doing it, and funk's like on a huge rise. But I personally don't listen to funk music. I'll listen to it, but I won't go out my way and listen to funk. But it works.
it's
But
yeah. I think it's kind of a weird one, bro, because like for me personally, and I'm not gonna name any names.
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna just keep my hands clean for now in terms of not putting myself in any drama. But I've never liked the whole thing of jumping on funk because it's a trend or
I'm
like
the same.
because it's like, oh, like I can make money off of this or whatever. It's like if you're not making music for you, like stuff that like for me, I make what I would listen to myself. I like don't ever want to make anything that I wouldn't listen to. And
Yeah,
I feel like that's a really important part of being an artist is having like artist integrity, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Like I don't respect the whole like jumping on trends. I don't respect the whole like, oh well this is popping, so I'm gonna go and do this. It's kind of like if you're not doing what you want to do, then why are you even doing it? Because you're not gonna have any longevity as an artist.
No, that is right. To be honest, I do agree with you on that one. I do find funk. I'm not like I try and work with a lot of people that do funk anyway. That is a
Mhm.
route they've wanted to go down. Like I think the most of the people I've started to connect with that do funk, they know my place and they know like my I don't know. They know how I feel about funk music. Like I said, I don't listen to it, but like
Yeah,
I'll do anything to support someone. Like if there's someone that I've known for a while and um that listens to like wanted to start creating funk. Okay, I don't dig it, but do what the fuck you want to do. Like that
yeah,
is completely your decision. But I will support you at the end of the day. Like I will
yeah.
support you to do that.
No,
Um,
of course, man.
but yeah, I think everyone's just got their own little playlist they listen to on Spotify and their own little music they listen to. Like I won't
Yeah,
listen to R&B music unless we're going back.
yeah, yeah,
Time Justin Timberlake and Neo were like popping off. Like,
the
but
OGs.
like
Yeah,
yeah, like I work now though. If you someone said to me, "Oh, should we listen to?" I'm like old R&B or new R&B. Ah, let's listen to
yeah,
something in it. How you all right, mate? So I'll
Yeah,
Justin
yeah, I
Timberlake,
get
I'll be saying, but play some of that new shit. You can fuck right off. Like, I don't want to listen to it.
that.
But
No, I think that's how it is, man. As you say, like everyone kind of has their stuff that they vibe with, and like what they want to listen to and
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
It's kind of like recently I've stepped away from listening to like as heavy music because for like the foreseeable future, my music's not going to be as heavy as it has been.
Mm.
I'm sort of like looking to like mix it up and be more of a rapper rather
Yeah,
than
yeah,
like a. I don't want to be like labeled like a trap metal artist anymore.
yeah.
Um, I don't feel like I can be boxed into that category because I've never like just strictly made like trap metal and that's it. I've kind of always been like quite fluid with what I make. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
kind of been trying to like escape that kind of mold and sort of like go down my own lane now of trying to do something like different. Um, like I've been experimenting with loads of different types of beats and still on the heavy side, but not doing as much of like the full screaming stuff or like I'm trying to take it down like that different route of,
Sometimes
being
it's good to
more.
like hop on a chart where you throw that album out or a couple of
Mhm.
songs out, which is heavy as fuck, and then sometimes it's always nice to turn it down a bit because then you can always come back to it because you can do
Yeah,
it and you know how it's going to pop off anyway, so you can always come back to that. And I find that
exactly. Yeah.
is that I don't know. I've done it in the last few podcasts. I do mention Scarlord a lot, but Scarlord's one of them. He has created some fucking heavy stuff, like really fucking heavy stuff. But then you listen to a lot of his other stuff, and it's not. It's just it kind of finds a more melodic sound
Hmm.
to his voice in a few of his songs, which I do fuck with.
Yeah.
But I will say actually, I can't actually sit. I don't think I've actually like said to myself, "Oh, since it's a trap metal artist," I don't think I can because I don't even know what category I'd put you in because it's kind of like your own little style. It's weird,
Yeah.
and I don't find that with a lot of other artists, to be
I, I,
honest.
I appreciate that, man. That's
Yeah, because
a
like
positive thing for me, you
because
know.
Kilmore's like I automatically like when I first met Kilmore, it was drill metal. So like I put him into that category. Now it's a completely different category. So I'm trying to figure out which category he's going to put himself into.
Yeah.
Um, and then you've got again Remy's the same. I don't actually know. It's more like do you know what? Tell me if I'm wrong, and you might fucking hate me for this, but I'd go more like a punk rap type
I see.
style.
I'd say he's more on like the side of being like a punk rap kind of
Yeah, yeah.
like in between there. Yeah, like
I
that's
think
that's
it's the
probably
whole
like.
vibe that he comes across
Mm,
with his music videos as well as his music.
yeah,
And again, I
yeah.
fuck with that. It's different, man. It's not all the time you hear it.
No, exactly, man. I think like again, as I say, like what he's doing is super creative and it's interesting. Like it's a very
Yeah,
interesting style and it's not easy to pull off either.
music's
Um,
art. At the end of the day, you just got to.
exactly.
It's not just putting paint on a page. You've got to fucking create an image. You've got to
No,
create
that's
something.
it, man. That's it. That's it. And I think again, that's another thing that I think a lot of artists don't seem to understand is like it's not just about what you're creating and whatever. There's a whole bigger picture to
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
doing as an artist. Um, I'm guilty of it partially as well because I've
Ah, a lot of people
changed.
are, but it's learning.
Yeah, exactly, man. I've wanted to do so much more of the whole like, you know, in terms of like promotion and stuff, like doing TikTok, which I've always been like so kind of like I don't see myself doing it, but putting yourself on every platform is the best chance you have of
Yeah,
growing.
it is.
So it's like as much as I hate it and I hate the idea of doing it, I'm gonna do it. And I don't want to go down the route of trying to like sorry again I'm not going to name any names but the whole idea of like trying to teach people how they can get big and whatever doesn't fucking phase me in my mind at all like of
Nah,
doing stuff like that. I just want to create content. Like I just enjoy overall the whole aspect of being an artist in terms of like creating,
that's one
regardless of what
thing.
it is.
That's one thing I'm trying to move away. I feel like I spend a lot of time on Instagram. Like, no,
Yeah.
do you know what I do? And I kind of need to. Like, I'm trying to figure out TikTok,
Hmm.
and a lot of people say it's not hard to figure out, but at the end of the day, you're creating content. You want to create something you're going to enjoy. Because at the minute, I've only just started uploading YouTube Shorts, and again, I'm treating that
Right.
like a bit like TikTok. But TikTok is a good one to build, and yeah, you know what? You're most likely to go viral on things, and that's always a good. It's not always a bad thing. It's a good thing,
No.
and if people fuck with it, they fuck with it. But at the same time, I do need to move away from Instagram, and not move away from it, actually, just kind of like set myself back and go, right, I need to figure out how to put more content then, because I try and support as many people as possible on Instagram for Lonely Globe. So
Yeah.
I do my best to support people's music and put it out there. But when it comes to the podcast side of things, that's where I'm really trying to think, right, I need to create something that people are really going to not just enjoy, but like hear, because I feel like that's what podcasts are for. They're not just for like, it's not background noise. Like, I don't want this show to be a background noise. I want it to be someone
No.
to listen in and go, right, I want to learn about this person. I want to learn about this artist. I want to hear what this person's got to say. Like, I want to hear what's going on in life. I want to hear what's going on in the music industry. Just an understanding of, you know what, there's just someone to listen to, and not always learn from, because you can learn from different artists through the podcast, but
Yeah.
just to know them, get to know someone.
Yeah.
I've got to know so many fucking people now, and it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean that's a really positive way to look at it, to be honest with you, man, is to be like, I don't just want to be, as you say, like background noise or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to create something that people actually are engaged with, and I'm guessing in the sense of like it becoming like routine for you to have people on here. You know, everybody talks about interesting things. Everybody sort of talks about themselves, and you kind of get to understand everybody else the same way the audience does.
Yeah,
And I think, yeah, I think it's important, man. I think it's a really important part of hosting stuff like this is being aware of that fact. You know.
yeah, it is. It's difficult, but I think I'm just trying to figure out how to get the audience more involved. Not actually more involved, but feel more involved. Like, feel like them within the conversation. And I've got ideas. I'm figuring things out. But
Mhm.
like, the best way to explain it is doing you stand there and have a conversation with someone, like now,
Mhm.
like we're having this conversation, and you hear someone, you listen to someone. Again, I don't want it to be background noise. I want someone to feel like they can face to face with someone, and them actually hearing out, like a good hour's conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not always the way. People have got to switch off from time to time and not listen to an hour's conversation. I get it,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of podcasts I've listened to, and unless I really do sit there and listen to it,
Hmm.
but then again, I've got podcasts that I will just have on in the background. I do,
Mm.
but I think I never thought I would, but now, like, I will just go to work, and there's even times now if I'm just like editing stuff or whatever like that, I do just listen to the podcast. I'll just listen back, and it's just like, oh, actually, it is a fluent podcast. Thinking about it, it's like a fluent. That's one thing I was worried about. I wanted it to be as fluent as possible with the people I interview or the people I speak to, and it does work. And a lot of people have. I've had so many people. I don't think I've had any doubts as of yet. Like,
No.
if people doubt it, then that's their fucking problem. It's up to them if they want to doubt it. It's not my problem. I'm doing what I've got to do.
No, that's it,
Um,
man.
but the most enjoyable part about it, I'd say, is learning about the music and learning about people's styles, and just speaking about what goes on, to be honest, because everyone's got a different opinion. And
Yeah.
I'll do it in the safest way possible, like you said, holding your hands up, but not basically like trying to cause any names. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a case
Yeah.
of just like speak what you got to say. Obviously, don't name names unless that person wanted to. It's up to them. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm tempted. I'm tempted, but maybe not yet.
yeah. Yeah, that would be funny to be fair. Oh, but
I,
you'd be the first one, actually. Hang
I
on,
mean,
actually. Fucking calling you out. Fucking, what's this about? All this gambling and fucking. What the fuck's this about? Bad lad told me about this.
bro, yeah. Josh told me that he spoke to you about it, and he was like, just like, because I know you're going on there. He was like, I'm just gonna warn you that I did kind of out you a little bit, but not like I didn't like out you. And I watched it, and I was like, for fuck's sake, like I knew. I fucking
He was
knew.
like, yo, he's a jammy bastard. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking find this out, man. I want to know what's going on.
Oh man, I've just, you know what, like it's such a weird thing, bro. Like I always like explicitly say to people like, don't gamble, right?
Yeah,
Because like it's stupid. It's a stupid thing to
It's a
gamble.
50-50 chance, isn't it? Like that
Yeah.
is it.
Or even less most of the time.
You win or lose. End of.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's like I've just always had this weird thing with gambling where I've just been extremely lucky. Touch wood that continues. But
it's probably just ended on this podcast
now. No, I touch wood, man. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've just been super lucky. Like over the last few years, I don't know what happened. It's because I used to, for a bit of background, I used to work in a betting shop when I was 18. And I was, like doing pretty well there. And I didn't really gamble very much ever before that. It was just kind of like being in that environment and kind of being like, oh, well, like maybe I'll give it a try. And the first like big bet I ever won was I did a football accumulator. It was like 14 games and I put 20 quid on it, right? Like thinking, yeah, there's no chance. This is like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me go back to it. I'm getting a beer.
Anyone that's probably not listened to the podcast on this bit, bit of input. So Bad Lad kind of baited Synsy out and said, right, yeah, this guy has been gambling, but to the point where he's just the luckiest bastard ever and winning money. And I'm not even claiming. I'm not even putting it out there. It's not £100, guys. It's not £200. It's not like it's a lot of money. So I'm gonna get this fucker to finally fucking put it out there.
Oh shit! I'm not closing that door.
Oh man.
Oh right. Fucking hell.
Right, go on then. Okay, so
sorry. So I'm just gonna crack a beer open if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it, man. So you put the is it the accumulator? You put that on?
Yeah, I did this football accumulator. Didn't like really think anything of it. Like I was kind of like, oh well, like I feel like I know quite a lot about football.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's no chance like a 14 game accumulator, right? So it was for, I think if it won, it was like 120 grand or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. So the first like 12 games were solid. Like I won all of them, like got all of them right. And I was like, okay, sweet. Next game comes on and the team I had backed were 2-0 down at half time, came back and won 3-2.
Yeah.
So my last game I put as a draw and it was Arsenal-Liverpool, if I remember rightly. And Liverpool were, I think 2-1 up, got like at like 32 minutes or something like that. So I was sat like in the betting shop and they're all like, all the people in there are like, don't cash out, like you're fucking stupid, don't cash out, you could win 100 grand. And I'm like, yeah, but if they don't draw, I'm gonna lose this cash out, and the cash out was 30 grand.
Yeah.
So I just fucking cashed it out. I was like, I'm not fucking risking it. And they're all like, oh, you fucking idiot, whatever. And then Liverpool go on to win 3-1. So I would have lost that whole amount of money. So
yeah. So you, if anything, you did the right thing.
Yeah, I turned 20 quid into 30k.
But then again, it's a gamble. It could have gone either way.
Exactly, and that's the thing, man. And this is the whole point with gambling is like, for me, I don't gamble what I can't afford to lose.
That's what they say, don't they? They say whatever you can't afford to, don't gamble.
It's like if you like, I don't know, like I went into a casino in Finland, right?
Yeah.
Put in 100 quid and I walked out with 800, right? And I was like, cool, that's like just playing a bit of roulette and fucking around.
That's not just playing a bit of roulette to me though. That's 800 fucking quid.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's in like it was obviously great and it paid for like quite a lot of the trip and everything, but it was still like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm risking a pretty good amount of money to lose. If I lose that, then like
that's 100 quid. Yeah,
it's 100 quid, but it was part of my trip, so like I'm not really like too concerned about if I lose 100 quid.
Where some people go and buy China's for £100 and waste the money that way, you've gone and thought,
exactly,
fuck it, I'm just gonna whack on roulette. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
it's one of those things, man, where it's just like, again, I don't advocate it at all. I think like, especially it depends a lot on your position, right? Like and hence I don't gamble a lot. Like as Josh said, like I he got the stats wrong, by the way.
Yeah,
I put
Josh
in,
was
I put in,
saying, right, he was going, yeah, he's really bad. He's always on CSGO and he's always betting on CSGO and doing all this and all that. I was like, there's no fucking way. There's not a way. And he was like, yeah, that's how he paid for his music video. I was like, you fucking know he didn't do all
bro. So
that. He
with
was
that, with
baiting
that,
you out, man.
mate, with that Counter-Strike site that he's talking about, right? I got the receipts and everything. I put in 3 grand
Yeah.
total, and I've taken 65 from that website.
There's a reason why I've gone quiet. I just don't get that. Like you said, it's 3 grand, but you
yeah, but it's like
65k.
yeah,
That's a lot of
62K
money.
profit. Yeah, and this is the thing, man. It's like so it's $3,000 and $65,000 profit. So it's not like as much in pounds,
much
but
is
it's
that?
still
It's a lot of money because I know 5 grand or $5,500 is about $5,000 is about $3.5 grand.
Let me check. So £3,000 to USD. Oh, other way around. I need it. Fuck. USD to pounds is it's about £2,400.
So what was the 60? What's the 65 then?
So the 65 is I just accidentally clicked the Google logo and it's just fucking put fucking confetti all over my screen.
The big 25. Is it?
Yeah,
It
just fucking put fucking confetti all over my screen. I'm like, chill. Pound USD to pounds. So 60. My phone's bugging, bro. Oh my days. My phone is just frozen.
It's probably all those bets coming in.
Fuck's sake. It's about 53 grand. Yeah.
That's a lot.
About 53 grand, man. Yeah, it's insane. And like again, as I say, I do consider myself like an extremely lucky person.
That is lucky.
Yeah. Like I mean, I said to Josh before, like I think overall, like now, my profit margin with gambling is I'm probably like 280k up over like 5 years, which is again the reason I don't advocate it, because I know people that it's gone the complete other way for. You know, like some of the people.
You feel bad, I guess, don't you? Like, oh, I'm really fucking lucky. You're the one that's lose. Yeah, you kind of.
And that's why like when I win on gambling and stuff, bro, I try and like do stuff for my friends. You know, like I'll be like, oh, let's go out for like dinner and drinks, and like I'll pay for it. You know, and like,
yeah.
All
that's
those
quite
kinds
nice
of
of you,
things.
to be honest, man. That's quite sick.
I feel like that's just how it should be, bro. Because at the end of the day, I'm essentially like, I know I'm risking it, but I've essentially just made free money because it's not taxable.
Well, yeah, you've put 3 grand on. Well, like you said, you win about 54 grand back. So you've done 2.5 grand. You've won 54 grand back. That's still tens of thousands worth of free money.
Yeah, like, and essentially
that's
then
50 grand more.
Yeah,
52 grand.
And then when I think about like my friends and stuff, I'm like, you know, I know full well if the same happened the other way around, they would do the same for me. You know, so it's kind of like just mutual respect. You know, like that's the way I kind of look at it. It's just, you know. But I've also done some investing and stuff like that with CS:GO skins. Like I bought a bunch of skins that
that was it. He told me about that. He told me about that as well. He said you kind of been investing into that. Is it kind of the same as Is it the kind of same as what do they call it now? Fucking hell. What's that thing everyone's been investing into, the faces and
NFTs.
NFTs.
Yeah,
is it the same as that in a way?
I mean,
a bit different.
It's different in the sense that like, so I like the thing is as well as I don't even play Counter-Strike. Like
I've never played a game of Counter-Strike in my life.
I've played it a few times, but I never got into it. But it's like with the skins, like they have different what you call floats, right? So like the lower the float is, the higher quality the skin's gonna be. So with my like investing and stuff like that, when the new Counter-Strike game got announced, I knew that there was going to be certain skins that would look even better on the new version of the game.
Okay.
So I invested in like, I bought maybe 20 of those skins for like maybe 340 quid each after I'd won all this money, and then now already worth double.
It's kind of that. It's like fucking people with trainers, isn't it? When they do the investment for trainers.
It's essentially, yeah, that's probably like the best way to put it. Is like it's more so like the whole clothing market kind of like, oh, this came out at this time and it's like this rare because of this, and there's a limited amount of them or whatever. It's like the same kind of concept.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is. I didn't even know half of this. Like, I know
Yeah,
people had like were creating like CS:GO skins for like weapons. I knew people were doing stuff like, I've seen it all over Twitter and being like a graphic designer back in the day, but I never knew it was as far as a point of investment. I never knew that like until
yeah.
now. That's
It's
crazy.
it's
That is.
it's really
Is that?
weird, man. Honestly, there's people out there like I know this story about like this guy bought like a knife, like a Counter-Strike knife
Hmm.
for 100 grand, right? He sold it to someone else for 150 grand, and this collector bought it for I think it was 175 grand, and he like won't sell it or anything, and it's now worth like 2.5 mil
What the fuck? For like, is this
for,
just a virtual knife?
for pixels on a screen,
Oh
bro.
my
Like that's
god!
so this is the whole thing with like the NFT thing that I find like so crazy. It's like, are we really at that stage now? Like, is this really like
Do
the
you know?
stage that
Do you
we're
know who
at?
Gary V is? Gary Vaynerchuk. You know Gary.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah,
he swears by him. Like, I remember watching watching a video about Logan Paul, and
right.
fucking Gary V said to Logan Paul, he said, "I'm telling you now, invest into NFTs. Like, them gonna go fucking big." And he was like, he just thought, yeah, fuck it. You know what? Gary V's always right. I'm gonna invest. And he bought like this NFT, and it's worth fucking millions, like multi millions.
It's
And he
it's
said,
mental,
and he
mate.
said the same. He says, for pixels on the screen, I have made myself super rich just for that one thing, and I don't get it. I don't fucking. I look at that and go, do you know what they remind me of NFTs? Remember when you first had an Xbox 360? You thought, I'm going to pick an avatar on you. Fucking, that's what it reminds me of. So when I look at it, I'm just like,
Oh, fucking
oh,
hell.
I'll pick the coolest avatar, maybe. And now I bet people are picking NFTs. I might be wrong. People are probably picking NFTs, not knowing anything about them, and going, oh, that looks cool. That's going to make me a lot of fucking money because it looks cool.
Yeah,
But then there's
yeah.
some
It's
fucking
essentially,
mad
yeah.
ones.
It's mental, bro. I wanted to ask you this while I remember, because you said you done like graphic design back in the day.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Where did you start with like your graphic design?
That was gaming actually. Thinking about it.
Was it for like trick shot teams by any
Yeah,
chance?
yeah, yeah. I started off with I started off watching a guy. He's named Biggie, and he was like Obey or Saw Biggie. No, he was like Curse Biggie at the time because he was part of this team called Curse, or he ran Curse. We created a Curse, it was called, and there was like another team called like Dark Empire and shit like that. And
I
then
know all of them, mate. Don't
oh,
worry.
okay, awesome. So then I went on to a team at that point as a graphic designer. First, I called Peril, and then I
Uh-huh.
moved from Peril over to Exalt. So I was in Exalt for over a year,
I remember
and
them.
then
Yeah.
I was removed just after Extol 2 for that team Taj. If you know your
Okay.
game, like if you know the team Taj
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people thinking, "What the fuck's he talking about?"
Yeah.
But yeah, this yeah.
If you
So
know, you know.
yeah. So like that's how I started doing my graphics. And then I started venturing more into Twitch streaming, where I would go out my way, contact a lot of Twitch streamers, and trying to do and progress within creating the artwork for stuff like that. And that's when I started doing a lot of work for. Started doing work for True Geordie.
Oh,
I did the design work for the featherweight championship for Max Holloway,
oh wow.
which was
Fucking
fucking
hell,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it was a big one that was.
I
So
didn't realize you had such
yeah, well, yeah,
like a long list of accolades. Like
yeah, and
that's crazy.
I did that for free for Max Holloway as well because I got
Yeah,
reached out from a
I don't
guy.
blame you.
It was well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
What happened was it was I was doing some stuff for a guy who did this Twitch streamer, and then he started running this MMA or I think it was this UFC like magazine online, doing an article. And then he involved me with someone else, and he said, "Oh, there's someone I want you to do some work for if you can do it, if you can speak to him." I was like, "Yeah," and I didn't really know much about UFC that much. Like, I
Right.
knew about the sport, but I didn't know many people. So someone was like, "Yeah, Max Holloway." I was like, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he's a featherweight. He's going to be like the new featherweight champion." I was like, "Oh, okay." That meant nothing to me. I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool."
he's one of my
Uh,
favorite fighters, man. So
and then
that's
it wasn't
crazy.
until like the last few years I realized like, oh my god, I fucking do it for Max Holloway. This is fucking mental. Like, he's actually a
Yeah,
really
that's sick.
big fucking fighter. So
Yeah,
like at the time
yeah,
I
he's
thought
sick,
nothing
man.
of it. Yeah, so Max Holloway was one of them. And then shout out to one of my best friends, Tyler Bate. He as we was growing up, he was always a big like, oh god, my fucking things. One sec, we go right there. We go.
There we
Yeah.
go. We're
So
back.
the wiring under my PC. Anyway, so shout out to my mate. Yeah. So one of my best friends, he who I grew up with, went to school with. He joined the WWE, gone to the WWE and stuff because he always did wrestling when he was younger. Like, was those kids on the trampoline and shit. Long story short, so like I didn't do much. I tried my best to support my friend, and I just did like little bits and bobs for him.
Mm,
I don't really class him as a client, to be fair, because I don't really. He's my friend. I just did it off my back, and
yeah,
if he needed it, he needed it. If he didn't, he didn't. There's a lot of stuff he didn't need because I was obviously anything within business, it was done for him anyway. So,
yeah, makes
um,
sense.
and then I got introduced then over to True Geordie through another friend of mine who I did
Okay.
work with, and then he then my other friend introduced me then over to like I already knew about Jane Ramel from TGF, so he introduced me to TGF. So I did like one or two bits of work for them, not much.
Oh, that's
I
cool
did
then,
a
man.
I did a bit of stuff for True Geordie, but again, not much. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. And I I wanted to venture into the music scene. Like I've always been into music. I've wanted to always go down that route of supporting artists that I've enjoyed. So then I landed with the biggest artist I did, which then happened to me years later. It was a case that Kill Station released Extinction, and then I just thought, right, it's been released, the music has. I'm just going to create an artwork for it and just put it up on Twitter and just get some retweets and get people seeing it. And he
Mm.
liked it. He was like, oh, I'll use it. I was like, yeah, cool. He
Oh,
was
that's
like, do you want
wicked.
anything for it? Nah, just use it. It's completely down to you, man. If you want it, he's like, yeah, can you just take this off? Yep, sound. There you go. And then it wasn't
That's
until
wicked.
a couple of years later he got hold of me because he lost my DMs and stuff, and he was like, I just wanted to like thank you because it's hit so many listens. I think it hit like 55 million listens at the time.
Fucking hell,
And he
man.
was like,
Wow.
oh, here's a Christmas treat. I'm not going to go into the Christmas treat because I don't want to like
No, 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 no.
venture
That's
out or like what he
yeah, no,
gave
that's
me. Do you know
okay.
what? I was grateful for what he gave me, and I
Yeah, of
didn't want
course,
him to
man.
give it me. But yeah, like I was so fucking great. I couldn't believe like him just gifting me what he gifted me was yeah, it was a more not it was unexpected and he shouldn't have done it. But just the guy he was, it was, I don't know
But
what, hands
that's
down to him.
that's this is the thing, man. Is like for some people, like I feel like that's a really important part with like life in general, regardless of music or art, whatever the fuck you do. It's
Mm.
just showing gratitude to people that help you. Like
Yeah,
showing
yeah,
gratitude
100%.
is and like regardless of I know you're saying like I shouldn't have done it and whatever. In his mind, he probably feels so much better knowing that he's at least tried to do something good for you. You know,
Yeah, he
and
he
I
just he just stated that where he got to, he couldn't have done it without the people that helped him, which made
yeah,
sense. But it was just like I said to him, it's off my back, man. Just do it. Like it's fine. You don't need to do anything. Like a thank you's big enough, honestly. And
yeah.
he just
No, but
it wasn't enough for him, obviously. So, but I was
that's
yeah,
sweet as
super
man.
grateful, man. Super
Yeah, no,
grateful,
of
and
course.
I haven't been in touch with him for a long time since. He's kind of gone off the grid a bit, and
Mm,
I've sent a lot of DMs where just to keep in touch with him, and he doesn't really answer to him. At the end of the day, he's got his own life, the stuff that goes
yeah,
on, and I don't know
no,
what's
that's it,
going on
man.
in his life. I try my best to send him like Christmas stuff and like say Merry Christmas and shit like that. Like I kind of keep it a
Cool.
bit more personal and send him videos just to know like if there's anything up, just let me know. But
Yeah, no,
um,
I think that's kind of the issue as well. Sometimes with music, man, it's like obviously a lot of musicians go through a lot of shit. Um,
Yeah.
and I think like especially like for me personally, I'm super bad at like staying in contact with people. Um, like even like some of like my closest friends, like sometimes I just people will DM me on Instagram. I'll look at it. I've got like really fucking bad ADHD as well, so
Mm.
I'm like, I'll look at it. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna respond to that later, and then I'll get another DM about something else, and I'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, wait, I need to answer this, and then I won't think about it. I'll just close the app
Just close.
because
It basically just gets on top of you.
yeah, because I try and like I really really try not to let social media like overpower my life
Mm.
because I used to spend so much time on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, fucking Instagram Reels, everything, and it just like I just realized like I'd sit there for like 2 hours just like scrolling through shit and then be like I've just spent 2 hours doing nothing. Like I don't remember the last like 150 videos I've watched. So what was the point? And
That,
I
do you know
kind
what?
of got
I'm the biggest fucking bastard for that.
yeah,
Like I
it's
like
tough,
it
but it's
is.
tough, man. It's
It infect.
addictive.
It affect. If it. Don't know what like. My girlfriend does watch my podcast, and do you know what? Like it does affect my relationship sometimes, and I it's my own problem, it's my own fault. I'll do it, but sometimes it's an addiction, man. I'm not. It's not. I'm not going to say I'm addicted. I
No, but
think
it
it's just. It's like smoking a fag. You stop smoking
yeah,
fags. The one thing you get. It's like a vape. No, a vape's the perfect thing. If you vape,
yeah,
the first thing. Where's my vape? It's like that. It's like
yeah, yeah,
I can
yeah.
be standing there, and like I've just literally looked at my phone, gone on through Instagram. Oh, there's nothing on here, and I've put my phone in my pocket within. Not even no, not even 10 seconds. I'm back in my pocket. I've got the
And
same
you
app up.
reopen it. Yeah, yeah. It's bro, it's honestly like the best way that I've like managed to go over that myself is I did like a dopamine detox,
Mm.
like a full dopamine detox. So no music, no like social media, none of that. And I did it for a week, right? Just to start off with. No games, no music, no sitting watching YouTube, none of that. I literally just had to like read or like, you know, do go out and like do stuff or whatever. And it stopped me doing this whole like going on my phone for the sake of going on my phone because like I'm not gaining anything from it. Like and at the point of like where I feel like I'm at as an artist, I need to be like constantly trying to work, you
Mm.
know? Like
Yeah.
I should be working all the time because I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So it's like I feel like doing those like little things of like wasting time, like watching stupid reels that end up like not meaning anything to my life. It's just
It's
detrimental.
kind of like you setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, and it's but I also think like healthy doses, right? Anything's good in moderation, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like just because you do it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just the amount you do it. And I felt like I already procrastinate so much because of ADHD and like I have to like really really try to keep myself switched on. Um, those that aspect of stuff like really fucked with how I worked and functioned as a person. So it's just for me, it's like I'm better off not doing it at all,
yeah,
rather than like doing it in moderation because I can't do it in moderation.
yeah.
Depends
Nah.
person to person.
Yeah, it is one. You know what? It's one thing I kind of do need to. I think I do need to introduce to my life is doing something like you've just said. Uh,
I honestly
just
couldn't
kind of just
recommend it
stepping
more, Matt.
away from things. I think it's just I kind of do that when I'm abroad though, because the good thing is like when I'm away, like I do when I was away recently, when I went away with my girlfriend and a couple of my friends, it was a case of I'd use her data because her data is free abroad unless I pay for a package. But like there is a lot of the times where my data wouldn't work because of some of the spots I was in, and
Hmm.
it kind of helped in a way for me not to go on my phone. But at the same time, like I don't really use my phone when I'm abroad anyway, unless like I take photos. I don't.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
like
that.
I see it as I'm on holiday for a reason. I've paid all this money. Why do I need to sit on my phone? Unless
Well,
I'm in
that's
bed at night, like it's a bit different. But
yeah,
like again, I'm too tired from fucking sun through the whole day, so I try and just drinking. But
yeah. I feel that, man.
yeah, that's the one thing I do like when I just go abroad and
It
um.
just gives you a chance to reset. Like you get like a mental reset, and it's like,
Oh, you God, you need it.
yeah, you
You
really
need
do,
it.
man. It's so essential to like mental health and you know keeping that whole what's the word I want to say trifecta of like mind, body, soul. You know, you keep yourself kind of like in check type
Yeah.
thing.
Like I only did a weekend away for my girlfriend's birthday, like in Spain, and it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago, like my manager said to me, he's like, "Yeah, bro, you got like 15 days holiday left to use." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you got 15 days." I said, "There's no way I got 15 days holiday like I've used." And he's like, "No, you haven't used that much." I was like, "The fuck I've been doing then? Like, if I actually had a holiday then, so I've got 15 days to like the end of the year now to try and use, and I just don't fucking do with it.
Lads holiday to Spain, mate. Let's do it.
Wish, mate. They've all just gone Tenerife. Actually, they've all just come back, so that's
Oh,
fucking too
really?
late.
Where did
Uh,
you head off to in Spain?
we don't know what this is. God, where the fuck did I go? This is why I'll leave the girlfriend to book everything. I don't bother. She, as I say, find the place you want to get to. There you go. We'll book it.
Yeah.
I know it was near Barcelona
Okay.
because we
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
fly to Barcelona airport. I'm really bad with names, to be honest, when it comes to going abroad. Like I said, I just say, to be honest, because I
You
went
just you
with
just get on the plane and you're just like, yeah.
yeah, like I went with my girlfriend, one of my other friends, and his girlfriend, because his girlfriend and my friend girlfriend are best friends. Like, so
Mhm.
it was a case of like, should we just leave it to the girls to book? They're like, yeah, just girls have the card, send the money over to here and book the holiday. So we just sat in the
Yeah.
fucking at the time we did it, we just sat in the pub and it was just like drinking, and they was like, oh, we've booked it. Okay, tell us a
Easy.
time and a date. We've got to get on the plane, and that's it. We've gone. That's
Yeah,
fair
that's it,
enough.
man. Yeah. No, I used to like, yeah, it was always the same when I was with my ex. It was kind of like, if we're gonna do anything, like, here you go, I'll let you
Yeah,
deal with it.
I
Like,
don't give a
I'm
shit where I go. Just
yeah,
get me on a
just get me
fucking plane.
away from England, and I'm happy, bro.
Yeah, it gets too much, man. Sometimes, like it really does.
Bro,
It
you know what?
really
This
gets too much.
this is the thing that I was actually having like a really serious conversation with about like with my friends from Finland, right? Like where I live, the town that I live in
Mm.
has a higher crime rate than Helsinki, right?
Where do you live?
I live in Aylesbury, right?
Whereabouts?
Which
Aylesbury.
is like 40 minutes outside of London,
Okay, yeah.
northwest of London, right? So it's in between Oxford and Luton.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and it's like, the fact that the crime rate here is so high, considering there's only like 70,000 people here, and in Helsinki there's like 550,000 people.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm
Like,
trying
and
to work that out now.
mate, and honestly, the other thing is as well, this mental. I did not see a single homeless person when I was in Finland. Not a single homeless person. Because
That is
because
crazy.
they actually, like, I'm not trying to get too political here, but
No,
like
go, yeah.
the government there like really care about the people, and they really try to make the effort of being like, we want to look after you
Is it
as
Finland
citizens.
supposed to be or is am I thinking about the Netherlands? One of them supposed to be the
No,
happiest
yeah,
place
Finland is the happiest country in the
in the
world
world. Yeah,
statistically.
I
It's like
thought it was.
Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. They're
That's it.
all, and Switzerland is like all like top five. Netherlands is up there as well. Yeah, it's like I've like loved all of like the Nordic countries for like since way back when. Like I've always been really intrigued with like learning languages and stuff. So I can speak like quite a lot of Danish,
Oh, that's
um,
cool.
which doesn't help me in Finland, unfortunately, because the fucking
Yeah, I
language
was gonna
the
say.
language is fucked, bro. It's
I
so
understand
fucked.
that. It's cool, but I don't think that's
It,
gonna work over there.
it's no, mate. It's so like, because the thing is, right? If you can speak Danish, right, you can speak a bit of Swedish,
Yeah.
right? Like, and if you can speak Swedish, you can probably speak a bit of Danish. A lot of the words are the same. A lot of the way you say things are the same. But in Finland, it's like, I watched this fucking comedian the other day, bro, and he's like talking about this whole thing, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, in Sweden they say for I love you, it's like jag älskar dig, and in Danish it's jag älskar dig because of the accent, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, in Finnish it's like minä rosko glötä, like it's just like the most fucked thing you've
It's
ever
a
heard.
fucking
Like
sentence. It's
yeah,
a whole fucking paragraph.
it sounds like angry. It's like fucking hell.
That, do you know what? Oh, this is perfect. I'll speak because my mate Vessel,
uh,
Vessel, when he speaks, because he's part German, when he speaks to his
uh,
mom, and I
mm.
hear him on the mic, and he's going fucking. I'm like, shit, I'm having a big argument or something. And I'm coming back. I was like, bro, what was that about? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, what was the argument? He goes, oh no, I was just telling my mom what I want for tea. I was like, what the fuck is going on, bro? It sounded like he was like throwing your mum through the wall. It's like, nah, just tell her what I wanted for tea. I was like,
it's true
the
though, bro. It
fuck?
sounds so aggressive. Like German sounds really aggressive. Danish sounds really aggressive. I'd say like Finnish is kind of in the middle. It like can sound really aggressive depending on like who's speaking it.
Yeah.
But like otherwise it sounds like quite sweet. Like a lot of it does sound quite nice. Like you know how Swedish is like quite melodic and it's quite like happy sounding.
Yeah.
You know? Finnish can be a bit like that, but it just depends. But I'm trying to learn Finnish at the minute, right? And bro, honestly, right, like my mind is fucked from like trying to learn it, right? Bro, with like you know how with nouns, right, in English, okay?
Yeah.
So we say like house.
Yeah.
And then the only other time you say anything other than house is if you're speaking slang. So you say like yard or gaff or whatever, right? They have 16 different types of the word house.
And they're all nouns.
Depending on the context.
Okay, do you know any?
So you've got like if you say like this is my house, you say talo. But if you're saying like I'm going to my friend's house, it's talon. But then you get like talosa or talosta and like all of these other ones, bro. Like it's fucking like
is one with you got an house with one bedroom and you got an house with fucking 6 and it's a different. You got, if you got an house with 6, it's dalasta. But then if you got an house with like one bedroom, it's like oh no, por favor. I don't fucking know, man.
It's just such a crazy language, bro. Like it's just like you know it's that alone is the reason that it's like one of the hardest languages. Not just because like the pronunciation is hard, because the pronunciation once you like understand it is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Everything sounds like how it looks.
Yeah.
Right. Apart from like J's, which is like yeah, you know, like the same as Spanish and you know all the Nordic countries. But apart from that, they roll their R's as well. Apart from that, they've got like a couple extra letters, but everything kind of sounds exactly how it looks. Apart from the fact that then you have to know 16 different fucking nouns for every, like 16 different words for every noun.
You can just imagine yourself stopping going, oh, fucking hell, which house am I going to? Which house am I pronouncing? And they're all there waiting.
Yeah.
Goro! Which one's that? Oh, that's the 18th one.
It's all like so context driven. It's so mental, man. Like I mean I learned Spanish growing up and like I'm okay at Spanish. Like I know a bit.
Yeah.
Danish I know quite a lot. Like English I'm kind of fluent sometimes unless I've had too many drinks. But like
I think that's everyone, mate. On the night out. That's just a British for you, mate.
You should have seen me one night in Finland, mate. I was cunted, mate. I literally couldn't even like form a sentence. I was just like, like,
is it expensive there? Like,
you know what, bro? It is like comparative to here, right? Like even compared to London, right? Like they don't do pints over there. They do half liters, right? So you know, a pint's 660 milliliters.
Yeah.
Right? So, they do half liters, right? And a half liter in like a cheap pub, what they call a cheap pub, is still like €9.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, like a bottle of Corona is like €9 in like or €8 in most pubs, which is like that is, and then you think we went clubbing like a couple of times. Fucking hell, bro! It was like I'd get like it was more worth it for me to buy a double because you know how like in Spain, right? Spanish doubles are different.
Oh, mate, it's not even a double.
It's literally like 100 mil.
They're like enough. You're like, yeah,
like, enough. Like right. 5 seconds ago,
and then they put ice in them because that ain't gonna make a difference.
Yeah, it's like that. You get like they give you the glass right, and it's like this much alcohol, and then it's like we'll top it with ice. So then the alcohol's up to like here, and then they just drop a little bit of fucking orange juice in or whatever and you're like. Am I supposed to fucking drink this? Like, surely I'm just gonna get fucking hammered with it.
Like, Nikos, what the fuck are you doing? What do you call that? That's a single? Let me fucking
The fact that
That
they're
cost us
singles,
60 quid in the UK.
yeah, innit, man? That's the thing. Like the singles there are like the same as our doubles, which is fucking crazy.
So how
In
much is a double
Finland,
in Finland then? How much is that?
I think I paid like 18 euros for a double, which I don't think is too bad. It's
It's
not
not
too
bad,
bad
but wow.
considering it's like you get 80 milliliters of alcohol compared to
Okay.
like 50.
But are there
And you know,
doubles to the measurement, or is there doubles the same as like
it's
in Spain?
80 milliliters is the doubles in Finland. So a single
But
is
do they
40.
pour it like that, or are they just
Yeah,
fucking?
no, they pour it in
Ah, yeah.
using like
Okay.
the
So they're like back here then in a way. Okay.
yeah. I mean, some bars, it depends what bar you go to, type thing. Like
Yeah.
you can go to some places they'll free pour like whatever, you know. Like I
Mm.
used to do a bit of bartending and stuff like that, and I
You
always
just
free
you
poured.
just find that part in the glass where you just go, oh, I know where to stop. I guess.
Yeah, I used to time it, so I'd go like I'd flip the bottle and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I knew what like that would be, you know.
Yeah.
Like you kind of can count different measurements and whatever.
Mm.
And again, it depends where you work because like a lot of places don't really care if you overpour slightly or underpour slightly. It's like, you know, whatever. Like people, when you're making cocktails, for example, like people aren't going to give a shit because they're just going to get drunk anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
You've started on cocktails. You might as well finish yourself on them.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you as well. 2 questions. So, do you remember Auto? The team?
Auto.
Yeah, or Synergy?
Yeah, I remember Auto. Auto was the A, and it had the like that.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
Synergy, Synergy, yeah.
And Era.
Yeah, I remember Era. Yeah,
I
Era's
was
the one. Era, and then the wings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I was in all 3 of those
Oh,
teams
nice.
as a player, bro. Which is
Do you remember
fucking
Myth?
Myth.
Myth Gaming.
I know the name.
I'm trying to
I feel
see
like
if
I
I can
know the
remember
name.
some more. I
I'm
was
trying to
part of. Do you remember DF?
DF.
Do you remember Infinite? Infinite were like
Maybe.
just after Peril. That was like the 8.
I was it INF? IN capital F. Was that like how people have
Oh
their
no,
names?
that was Inf.
Oh,
No, that was
okay,
Inf.
no.
That was.
Yeah,
I know who
okay.
you're talking about. It was like
Yeah.
I and then capital F, yeah, Inf, and then oh god, what else was that? God, we're
There
going
was
back loads now.
yeah,
Yeah,
there was
where's my
I,
Twitter?
I was in DZ, I was in SB, I was in Auto Era.
I was in Dare. I remember. Do you remember Dare? I was in Dare.
Yeah. I had a lot of friends in Dare. I got the leader of Dare didn't like me, so I never got in.
It was Dare.
Tanza.
Tanza. Yeah, that's it.
Tanza, yeah.
It was a bit of a fucking freak. I'm not gonna lie. He can watch his own. Give a fuck.
One of the guys that was like the leader of Era, Tiger. He's like he's still like one of my really close friends now. He's an editor. He's the guy who did the Shapeshift video.
Oh no way! Oh, that's
yeah,
cool,
like,
man.
So he's from Scotland, and I was just like, oh, you know, bro, like you wanted to get into doing like videography and stuff. Like, I know you're really good at editing. Do you want to just fucking shoot a video for me? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I flew up to Scotland, met him for the first time. He's like one of like the nicest guys I've ever met. Like, yeah, it's just and it's weird because I've known him for 12 years now, and I'm 25.
I've got people that I was in teams with now, and I'm still friends with him to this day. One of them's just gone on to, well, he's always done music, but he's gone on to doing music of himself. But this is a funny one. Like when the job I'm in now, when we worked at a different factory from before, and there was another manager, like who was the manager that hired me. So I remember starting the company, and because it was only literally like my house was here and the factory was down the road, so it was perfect for me to get to work. So I started. And he's like, oh, what do you, like, when I started my first day, he's like, what do you do in your spare time? I was like, just go home, like, go out with my mates, go on a weekend, and, I don't know, play a bit of games. He's like, oh, what do you play? I was like, I love my COD, I love playing COD and that. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, those trick shots. I was like, nah, I'm all sniping me, I'm all sniping. He's like, you're sniping that? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, no way. He goes, he was like, oh, yeah, do you like part of teams and stuff? I was like, I told him a few teams. He goes, oh, you was part of that too? I was like, yeah. And he goes, he's like, oh, what's your, like, do you know, like, these people? I was like, yeah, I play with them all the time. I was like, he's like, what's your gamer tag? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's MSH1. He's like, I've got you on Xbox. I was like, what the fuck? Like, we've known each other for years. And like, I'll put a face to name.
It's so mental because I remember like having like a really similar thing happen when I was like 14, I think I was. There was two guys that I'd known for like 2 years, right? And I used to play with them every day.
Yeah.
Um, like I think I oh no, I was 13, yeah. And so basically didn't like ever really think much of it. We just kind of like, we all had like similar accents and stuff, but we didn't really like ever, put two and two together. And I was explaining this story that happened like near my school. Like it was a really I don't think I can actually say it because it's like extremely fucked up. But something happened to someone basically, and I was explaining it to these two guys while we were in an Xbox party, and then one of them goes, "Wait, where do you live?" And I said, and he was like, "What school do you go to?" And I said, and he was like, "Bro, I go to the same school as you." And
What
he
the fuck?
it turned out he was the year below me at school.
That's crazy.
It's so fucking weird. Like so fucking weird. And the other guy, my mum used to like work at schools and stuff. The other guy went to the school that my mum worked at. So it's like,
It's
what
mad,
are the
isn't it?
fucking odds, bro? Like, I literally was having this conversation with someone yesterday about it. It is literally such a small world, and like you never realize it until
Yeah. That
as
that
you get older.
happens.
These like
It
weird
gets smaller when you
coincidences, yeah,
yeah.
like because the more people you know, the more it's like, oh well, I've seen you here from this, and you're like, oh fuck, how do you know that person? And that it's some like random situation. It's just like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, it's proper like it is weird. I remember just walking. It's so cringe. We used to walk around work, my old manager, and he'd like, I'd be at the top drilling. I'd be like, his name was Mark. Mark, and he'd look at me. I'd be like, get the drills, and I'd go. Actually, he used to run the factory of the Magnums. Like, do this. He was there laughing. I was like, this is getting out of hand, man. We're like 20 odd years old and we're doing shit like this, man. We're like adults, for fuck's sake.
nah, that's it, man. I mean, fuck it, enjoy it, man. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Just gotta,
it was
gotta enjoy yourself.
that's when fucking times was good, man. But getting home and going on Modern Warfare 3 and like,
Oh mate,
got to do a trial for a team on Rust, or got to do
yeah,
a
mate.
trial for a team on Dome.
Mate, you know what? I blame my mum for this, right? I was on a private RC for Phase back in the day,
No,
right? When
was that Phase
I was a
5?
no, like completely private, like
Yeah, yeah.
separate to it. So I used to have Banks on Skype because Banks was in the era chat,
Yeah.
and
Oh shit, that was like era back in the day, wasn't it? It was like first
yeah,
gen
yeah,
era. Okay, yeah,
20,
yeah.
2013 era,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like I got offered to do this, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna give it a go type thing, like fuck it. And then I had my GCSEs, so I was like, oh, I actually like can't do it, like I don't have any time. And he was like, oh, that's a shame, bro, but like maybe next time type thing. And then from then I just like pretty much that was when I like stopped trick shotting, was like 2014. So I was
Was that
just
when
like,
you
what's not?
used to trick shot then? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was more of a sniper. I was. What was your game attack? Or was you on
Synsy.
PlayStation?
No, I
Synsy.
was
No.
I was at Xbox. Yeah, yeah. So
I bet you any money I'll probably come across it. There's like no fucking doubt. No
yeah,
doubt in
but
my mind. I'll probably either add you on Skype. I'll
or we
probably.
probably beefed in game chat at some point.
Yeah, there's always something. You've
You know
probably come
what,
across people you've
bro?
like, suck your mom.
Bro, the craziest thing I've ever had, right? So I know he's probably gonna watch this as well. So shout out Blazing, DZ Blazing, my boy.
DZ Blazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why does that name ring a bell? I don't know why.
So, bro, this is the funniest shit, right? So
Okay.
me and him, I when I was in Synergy and he was in Horizon, right? And Synergy and Horizon had beef because we used to steal their players, they used to steal our players, whatever.
Yeah,
So I'm in a Modern Warfare 3 face-off lobby, right? Like the 2v2 face-off map.
yeah, yeah.
And you'd kind of just like kill one and then you'd trick shot against another person, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in a lobby against him and he's like talking shit to me like while we're dead, right? And he's like, oh, you fucking pussy, oh, I'll fucking boot you offline and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, do it then, bro, do it. So he does, right? He boots me offline. I like he adds me on Skype afterwards and like starts talking shit to me, and I was like, "Yeah, you're a dickhead, whatever." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was like 13 or 14, right?
You're not having it at that point. It was like it
Nah,
was war. Like I'm gonna
yeah,
fuck
innit,
you up.
yeah, innit.
Yeah.
And then my episode went up on Synergy, and he watched it, and he was like, "Oh, bro, your episode's fire, actually, by the way." And then I messaged him being like, "Oh, I just watched your episode as well. It's really good." And he was like, "Do you want to play it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So then, like 2 years later, after I'm like, when you did your GCSEs, you get like the few hours after your exam sort of things where you could go and
Yeah.
chill for a bit, and then you like whatever,
It's
or
kind of
you
like a
finish
wind
all at
down.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mentally they let you wind down and shit. Yeah.
yeah. So Blazing like calls me, and he's like, "Bro, I'm like near your ends. Do you want me to like come through and like we can smoke a joint or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it, bro." So I like my dad comes to pick me up from school, takes me to the train station. We go and pick Blazing up, and then go to like me and him went to the park with like one of my mates and just smoked a few joints. And we just became really good mates. And it was like
It's
went
crazy,
from
isn't it?
me and him like literally being like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking do this and do that and like fuck you
Yeah.
or whatever," to like he's like still one of like my best friends to this day. Like
It's crazy. Do you know
it's
though?
so metal, man.
Do you know COD is still like that though now? Like I went on Warzone the other day, and some geezer was like, "You're not gonna get on your mic and play and talk to us? Fine." And he was like, "Fucking what? What?" He was like, "What cunt plays Warzone and doesn't even use the mic?" I was like, "Mate, it's a game." He was like, "It's not just a fucking game." I was like, "Is this guy for real?" I'm
Mate, it
like
is
26 now, and I was just like, "God, this guy actually just sounded about 30 or 40." He's like, "It's the only time I get to have time away from your kids. I'm playing, and some cunt can't even talk." I'm like, "I think you need to calm the
I,
fuck down,
I'm,
bro."
I'm, I'm just gonna say I'm so glad that it's still got the same energy. Like, I mean, bro, when I used to play, it was like, as you probably know, the fucking insults that used to come out were crazy.
This
Like,
I've always said this, and I always have to say, it. And I always say it to a lot of US people. I'm sorry, but UK fucking insults, they blow, mate. They will go over any insult from any country in this world.
mate, it was
Been brutal.
so crazy. It was like I literally remember, like being when I was in Synergy, right? There was the team captain called Flying, and he didn't
Yeah.
like me, right? And I got in a game against him once, and I literally remember him saying, "I don't know if I can say this, but I'm hoping maybe I can because it's out. It's
If I
within
need,
context.
yeah.
It's not racist or homophobic or anything
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Just really fucking horrible. Like I literally was like, 'Oh, what's good, man?' And he was just like, 'Shut the fuck up, Synsy. I hope your whole family dies of
Oh
cancer.'
my
I
god.
was just like,
Oh my god. That is just rough.
and I was just like, all right, like fair enough, bro. Yeah, like
Do you know what? That was the biggest insult, though. Like,
it was
I
like
can honestly say
everyone
I've
said it.
never. I don't think if I can remember, I've never sat there and actually said that to someone because it's fucking bad.
It's
Like,
super fucked up, bro.
so
It's like one of those like really crazy insults where it's just like, why would you ever like want to say that to someone? You know, like
yeah, it's fucking mental, man. Like,
I
I always do think back like to kids now. Like, thing is, like, Fortnite's out now, so I don't even know what the fuck is on Fortnite. So you don't even know what insults on that. But like, I went in like you can't. To be honest, the lobbies aren't the same.
nah,
Because I don't really play COD that much anymore. I've started this new Starfield game and stuff like that. So,
no, fair enough.
but again, like, it's not the same. You don't really go into a game and hear people like going off on the mics like you used to. Like, do you remember that time you used to get back from school? Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 was loaded up, or Black Ops, and it's you'd sit there, you'd be like, it's going off already.
You'd be in a 6-man and of search, right? Like on Modern Warfare 2.
Yes,
with
yeah.
like 5 people, and then there'd just be like people on the other team, just like you'd have like one French guy, like one fucking UK person, like the rest of them, and you just hear.
Yeah, they were like, "Go die, go die, go die." They would say loads of shit, like "You shit, you're shit." Yeah, suck your mom, suck your dad, suck your mom, suck your dad.
It's so funny, bro. Like just to think back in it and just be like, I actually can't believe that like that was a thing for so long for like so many people.
Do you know what I find funny? I honestly, do you know what? I kind of hope I hear this shit, like not the really bad context, but one day I hope I do hope just to know what it must have sounded like on the opposite end. To have
yeah.
kids and sit downstairs and hear my kid just
Yeah.
insulting some. I just hope to listen and be like, what the fuck? That used to be me as a kid. Like, and honestly, I bet my mum used to sit there and go, that's my child. Like,
Bro,
what the fuck is he doing?
I can tell you now for a fact, like me and my mum, like at that age, like we didn't really get on very well, like when I
Yeah.
was younger and whatever, and we've like got super close, like as I've got older and stuff. And we spoke about this whole thing of like how like when I used to play Xbox and I used to just be like shouting at people down the mic and
Yeah.
like insulting people and whatever, and she would just be like, I honestly just was like, what can I even come in and say to you? Like I couldn't even like go in and tell you off because I don't know what the fuck you were talking about.
It's a different level of anger. It
But
is a
yeah,
different level of anger. You can't. There's no. As I think growing up and that happening, anyone that was part of that era at the time, it was a new anger. Like
oh
there was
mate,
no
yeah,
reason to be angry, but it was just like you wanted to rip that person from the fucking monitor screen and punch them in the face. You physically
mate,
couldn't do it, so you just
it's
had
so
to
funny.
insult them.
It's so funny. It's funny to think about the fact that like as well with like that whole concept is like I don't think I've ever been like I've calmed down so much
Yeah,
like
I have.
then like I'm not like an angry person at all anymore. Probably
You
because I
kind of
get
just,
most of it
you
out with
kind of,
music.
yeah. Because someone pisses you off in a night out and stuff, but it's a case of like you kind of just listen and be like, all right,
Yeah,
like
like fair enough. Like it's like recently something happened where uh, my friend was like beefing someone, and I was just like, bro, just like relax. Like, what's the fucking point? Like, you two are both gonna like you're gonna hit each other, and then you're gonna go home and regret it, and you're gonna wake up the next morning, both of you are gonna be fucked up, or whatever. More
yeah,
so the other guy than my mate, but I was like, you're both gonna be like regretting it. Just fucking get over it. It's like a stupid
yeah,
argument to have. Like, what's the point? And then it's just kind of like that situation. It's like you don't need to be like beefing people for no reason in the street. You know,
yeah. Like
like
I've had like I said this in the last podcast. Like there's times I've got a nights out and I've got myself into some fucking bother. And do you know what? It wasn't so much acting the big man because at the end of the day, like I know the consequences of things. I think it
mm,
was just trying to be that person to like just stand up for myself because as a kid, I never stood up for myself as a kid. Like I was always
yeah,
scared to fight people and I was always scared for someone to like start on me. Like that was the person I was. And I think the older I got, it was like, you know what? It's a fucking doggy dog world. I got to fend for myself sometimes. This is what it is.
yeah.
But
No, for sure.
I remember this one night, and it was my own fault. And I don't know what happened. Like realistically happened. I was drunk, and then it was like something happened, and I just remember just surrounded by about 5 lads, and I just went, oh, "Fucking hell, I am done in here. Like I am
Yeah.
done." And my friend was like, "I was like, where's my mate?" And he was like, fucked off in the back room on his punch machine with his other bird. I was like, "Right, I'm fucked here." Like, so I just thought, right, I'll have the biggest one. I'll have you first, then I'll go for the rest of you after. And then at this point, like, bound to split it up. And I was like, okay. And I felt really bad. I was like, you know, that was my fault. So whatever happened, like, I went over to this guy. I went, I want to apologize. Like, that was my fault. I've drunk.
Mhm.
I've had too much to drink. You didn't deserve any of this. At this point, he was like, yeah, no problem. Like, you know what? I shook his hand, mate. That was game over at this point. His mate was already pissed off at what had happened from before, like me just going, yeah, I'm going to fucking have all of you. So I'm
Oh,
shaking this guy's hand. His best mate just runs over and just claps me around the head. And I'm spark out like, fucking God.
oh, man.
And I'm just
It's
like,
so big. It's
and
so big.
the next day I was just like, yeah, I fucking deserve that. Like, there's nothing I deserve that. Like, I can't even be angry about it. I was like, yeah, I was angry. He could have killed me because I did hit my head off the steps and he knocked me
Oh,
out.
fucking
It wasn't
hell.
the punch; it was the fucking me hitting my head. But
Afterwards,
I
yeah.
think to myself, I was like, yeah, I fucking deserve that. Like, what can I do? Like, I can't
Like,
moan about it. And I just think,
you
yeah,
know, you know what the thing is, right? Like I had something recently where like I was out and this guy was trying to fight my mate, right? And my
mm,
mate, like he's a big fucker. Like he's like 6'4". He's built like a brick shit house.
yeah,
Like very, very well trained in like
mixed
martial
martial
arts
arts.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, he's crazy. Um so this like guy, he's probably I don't know, maybe like 5'11", 6 foot. He's pretty like pretty skinny. he's just mouthing off at like my mate's fiance.
Mm.
Like says all of this shit and whatever. And then my mate obviously gets involved. And it's like, you know, shut the fuck up, whatever. They start beefing. I went over and separated it. I was like, just leave it, like, come on. And I got the guy to walk down the high street with me. And I was like, listen, bro, like, don't worry about it. Like, just let it go. Keep walking. We'll go on with our night. You go on with yours. And he's like, oh, are you walking me down the street because you think you can fucking have me? And I was like, no.
But
Like,
I'm just trying to be a human being. And...
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to help you because like he's a nutcase, bro. Like he'll hurt you. And he's like, yeah, well, let him fucking hurt me then. I was like, if that's what you want to do, then go and do it. But like, you'll regret it. So he carries on walking, and then there's an alleyway on the right. He's like, come down here with me. I was like, no, I'm not fucking stupid, bro. Like, just leave it. And then his friend comes over and goes, listen, man, like, thank you for like calming it down. Like, I'm really sorry. And I was like, that's fine, man. So then I'm with like two of my friends, and we go to like the like kebab van up the top of the high street. This is like 20 minutes later. I'm going up to get my food, and this guy just goes, "I pussy all," and I just turned around. I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Come then," and I'm just like, "What do you mean, come then? Like, what's your problem? Like, just go home, bro." Like,
you have to laugh about it though, don't you?
Yeah,
really?
I was like, what are you doing here still? And then I got pissed. The only reason I got pissed though, right, is because he like elbowed my friend, who's a girl. Right?
Yeah. You don't lay hands on a woman. Yeah.
No, exactly, man. And he fucking elbows her in the throat, and like she hits the floor, and she like hits her head on the floor. So I was like, fucking like, I know I probably should have been like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna fuck him up. But I went over to her to make sure she was okay.
Yeah, because that's the main, that's priority. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is not good. And as I go to like pick her up, this fucking cunt runs over and sucker punches me, like, and then just runs away. And I literally was just like I was pissing blood out my nose, and I was like, for fuck's sake, man. Like,
yeah.
Him and his friend hopped in a taxi. It's all good. I know who both of them are. I know where they live. It's all good.
Yeah.
But like, just the whole
thing that happened was just
it's just like, why? Like,
what have you gained? Yeah, what have you gained from this?
Like a sucker punching me and like he
running off after.
Mate, the best thing is that he put everything into this punch, right? And he fractured like the top of my nose, like just slightly, and that was full force. Like he really tried to hurt me, and like I was pissing with blood, but it stopped hurting after like 2 days. You know?
Yeah, like, I had a confrontation in Worcester, and like I bossed my nose. I got glassed in the face, but I was very lucky. He didn't break, but. That was just
got glassed in the face.
Yeah,
fuck me, mate.
Long story.
Me.
But I was lucky, very lucky. But like, I knew I broke my nose. Like I did break it because it was like all fucking swiveled. I was just like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like it's still to this day like a bit weak, and I'm just like, I definitely did something.
Mine's a little bit wonky, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, it was not like I think it's more noticeable when it first happens, and then after you're just like, it's actually not that bad.
Well, I had to, not the first time, sorry, the last time before this time where I got my nose broken, it was like really bad. It's my brother's fault. If you're watching this, fuck you.
If you're watching this, fuck you.
But it was his fault, bro. Like he basically like instigated a fight with the wrong people and got hurt, and then I had to try and back it. But it's like I got two people against me, and one of them just like cracks me around the face, and then they run away. And I just remember like I got my brother up off the floor. You know, he like looks at me and he's like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Your nose is fucked, bro." I was like, "Is it that bad?" And he was like, "It's literally like this." Like it was like a fucking crescent moon, bro. And this is 2 days before the first lockdown. Right before the first COVID lockdown, so I go to the hospital to like just so they can like snap it back into place and glue it and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we can't actually touch your nose."
Why? Oh, it's because of COVID.
And I was like, so I have to snap my nose back in place myself, and they were like, "Yeah," and I'd done it once before.
Fuck that, bruv.
So I was literally just like, "Fine, fuck it." Like,
no.
It's nasty. It's not like it's You know what? It sounds way worse than it actually is. I promise you. Like
Is it
when
actually? Yeah, but it must have fucking hurt though. Still.
it hurts, but like you don't. It actually hurts less than like while it's not in the right place.
Oh,
Like
okay, I get what you mean.
when it's
When
out
it's
of
in the
like
right place, it's like,
it,
oh, relief.
it hurts. It hurts for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then it like calms down. You know, like when your eyes water when like something
Yeah.
happens to like your face or your nose or whatever. You get that thing where like your eyes water and you're kind of like, oh fuck me, and then it like calms down after a little bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's pretty fine, but
Yeah, that's fucked, man.
yeah, it's not good, man. But
I think what we've tried to educate everyone listening is, yeah, just don't get into fights. And if you do get into a fight,
don't fight, don't gamble, listen to good music, don't jump on trends.
and Synsy's brother, fuck you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Synsy on the podcast. Oh, God, man. No. Bro, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely have to have a proper catch up at some point, man.
Yeah, we will, man. 100%. No, we definitely will. Anything you want to say to any listeners that support you?
Just thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who's been streaming the album recently. Yeah, thank you so much for all the support.
It went so hard, that album, did, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But nah, love to you as well, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
Nah, 100%, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. Definitely has, man. I think do you know what? I'm getting you from this next time, man. This is just
too funny. Tell his half of the story.
It's gonna be an hour and 40. This next story. Like, no, but what my fault? It's fucking your fault. I'm just gonna be like, yo, this family's fucked, bro. Right, bro. Alright, everyone, over and out. Lonely Globe. Stay tuned for the next ones coming up, and we'll speak to you all soon.